Clarity is power. If you want to build the life you truly desire, the first and most important step is to get crystal clear about what that life actually looks like. This is not just about dreaming or visualizing, although that can be helpful. This is about getting real, specific, and detailed. Most people walk around with vague goals in their heads. They say things like, "I want to be successful," or "I want to be happy," or "I want more money." But what does that mean? How much money? Doing what kind of work? Living where? Waking up next to whom? If you can't define it, you can't build it. You wouldn't start building a house without a blueprint, right? So why are you trying to build your life without one? That's the problem. People are waiting for life to magically get better without ever sitting down and figuring out what better actually means to them. Clarity is the blueprint. It's the foundation. It is what gives your actions purpose and direction. When you're clear about what you want, everything else becomes easier. Your decisions become sharper. You stop wasting time on things that don't move you forward. You stop saying yes to what drains you. Clarity is what helps you cut through the noise of everyday life. Now here's the truth. Gaining clarity doesn't always come naturally. It takes effort. You have to be willing to ask yourself hard questions and give honest answers. You have to stop outsourcing your dreams to other people's expectations. What your parents want for you is not always what you want. What your friends are doing might look successful on Instagram, but it doesn't mean it will fulfill you. You've got to stop living someone else's version of success and start defining your own. That's what clarity is about, getting honest with yourself. If you feel stuck right now, chances are you're not lacking motivation. You're lacking clarity. You might be spinning your wheels, working hard, doing all the right things. But if you haven't defined your direction, you'll never feel like you're making progress. It's like running on a treadmill, lots of movement, but you're not actually going anywhere. That's the danger of not being clear. You can waste years chasing the wrong things, or worse, someone else's dreams. Clarity also brings confidence. When you know where you're going, you walk differently, you talk differently, you show up with more certainty because you've got a target. You don't need to have it all figured out from day one, but you need to start somewhere. Start by writing it down, not in your head, on paper. What do you want your ideal day to look like? What kind of work lights you up? How do you want to feel when you wake up in the morning? What does your financial life look like? What kind of people are you surrounded by? Write it all down like you're designing a life from scratch, because you are. And once you're clear, don't let the size of your dream scare you. The clearer your vision, the more resistance you'll feel, and that's normal. That's not a sign to shrink your dream. It's a sign that your dream matters. Most people will never take the time to get clear, and even fewer will have the courage to go after what they truly want. But you're not most people. You're here because there's something inside of you that knows you were meant for more. Clarity turns that quiet whisper into a loud, undeniable call to action. It's also important to remember that clarity isn't a one-time event. It's a practice. As you grow, your vision might evolve. And that's okay. What matters is that you keep checking in with yourself. Keep asking, is this still what I want? Does this still feel true to me? Adjust the blueprint as needed. Life is dynamic, and so is clarity. But you can't steer a parked car. You have to get moving, and clarity helps you choose the right direction to move in. So stop waiting for the perfect moment. Stop hoping clarity will just hit you one day. Decide today that you're going to sit down, get honest with yourself, and define the life you actually want. Not the life you think you should want. The life that makes you feel alive. Because once you get clear, the path forward reveals itself. And from that moment on, everything changes. You're not stuck, you're just scared. That's a hard truth to accept, but it's one of the most important shifts you'll ever make in your mindset. When people say they feel stuck in life, in their job, in their relationship, in their routines, what they usually mean is that they're afraid to make a change. Fear disguises itself in so many ways: confusion, procrastination, perfectionism, even laziness. But underneath all of it is fear. Fear of failure, fear of judgment, fear of making the wrong decision, fear of being uncomfortable. It's not that you don't know what to do, it's that you're afraid to do it. Think about it. You already know what's not working. You know when a relationship is draining you. You know when a job is no longer fulfilling. You know when your habits are holding you back. But instead of acting, you stay stuck. Why? Because taking action would require stepping into the unknown, and that feels risky. Your brain is wired to protect you from risk. It wants you to stay in your comfort zone, even if that comfort zone is slowly destroying your happiness. Your brain doesn't care about your dreams. It cares about keeping you safe. And what's safe? The familiar. But here's the problem. The life you want, the goals you have, the freedom you crave, it's all on the other side of fear. You're not going to feel ready. You're not going to feel 100% confident before you make a big move. Waiting for fear to disappear before you act is like waiting for a sunrise at midnight. It's not going to happen. Courage doesn't mean the absence of fear. It means acting despite it. It means saying, yes, I'm scared, and I'm still doing it. The truth is, fear isn't the enemy. In fact, fear can be a compass. If something scares you and excites you at the same time, that's usually a sign that you're heading in the right direction. Fear shows up when something matters. So instead of avoiding it, start paying attention to it. Start asking, what is this fear trying to teach me? Maybe it's revealing a deep desire you've buried for years. Maybe it's highlighting a place where you need to grow. Fear isn't a stop sign, it's a signal. So how do you move past it? You start small. You take one tiny step forward. You don't need to quit your job today or move across the country tomorrow. But you need to take action. One phone call. One email. One honest conversation. One decision to stop saying yes when you mean no. One step is all it takes to start creating momentum. And momentum is powerful because once you start moving, fear loses its grip. It's also important to realize that fear thrives in silence and isolation. The more you keep your fears bottled up, the bigger they seem. But when you say them out loud, when you talk to someone you trust or even just write them down, they lose power. They become manageable. They become things you can face rather than things you run from. Vulnerability isn't weakness. It's strategy. You can't conquer what you won't confront. You're not stuck because of your circumstances. You're not stuck because of your age, your background, your education, or your bank account. You're stuck because fear is making the decisions instead of you. It's choosing safety over growth, comfort over progress. And the scary part is, you can stay there for years. You can build an entire life around fear and convince yourself it's responsible. But deep down, you'll always know that you settled, that you could have had more, done more, been more. That's not what you were born for. You were born to grow, to evolve, to stretch beyond what's familiar. You were given dreams and desires for a reason, not to torment you, but to guide you. Every time you say, I feel stuck, replace it with the real truth, I feel scared. And then ask, what small step can I take today to move through that fear? Because courage is a skill. The more you practice it, the stronger it gets. At the end of the day, you get to choose fear or freedom, comfort or change, stuck or progress. The choice is yours every single day. And the moment you stop letting fear be the decision maker, your entire life starts to change. You are not stuck. You are just one brave decision away from a completely different life. Small decisions change everything. Most people believe that their life will shift in a massive way through some dramatic moment. A big opportunity, a once-in-a-lifetime chance, a bold leap. But the truth is, your life isn't shaped by a handful of huge events. It's shaped by thousands of small, seemingly insignificant choices you make every single day. It's not the giant leap that builds your future. It's the little steps you take consistently that determine who you become and what kind of life you live. You don't become successful overnight. You don't suddenly wake up fulfilled, disciplined, or confident. Those qualities are built one decision at a time. The choice to get up when your alarm goes off instead of hitting snooze. The decision to drink water instead of soda, to go for a walk instead of scrolling on your phone, to speak up instead of staying silent. Every small decision is a vote for the kind of person you want to be. And while each one might seem minor in the moment, they compound over time, they build momentum, they build identity. Think about the power of your morning. How you start your day sets the tone for everything that follows. Hitting snooze might feel like no big deal, but what it's really doing is reinforcing procrastination. On the other hand, choosing to get up when you say you will builds trust with yourself. It tells your brain, I follow through. That single decision, repeated consistently, can rewire your self-perception. And when you start seeing yourself as someone who follows through, it bleeds into every area of your life. Your goals, your relationships, your health, your career. The problem is that most people dismiss small decisions. They think it's just one day, or it doesn't really matter. But that mindset is what keeps people stuck, because it's never just one day, it's a pattern. And patterns become habits. Habits become your life. If you always wait until you feel motivated to make a good choice, you'll rarely move forward. That's why discipline is more important than motivation. Discipline is the muscle you build every time you make the right choice, especially when you don't feel like it. The beauty of small decisions is that they are completely within your control. You don't need more money, more time, or more resources to start making better choices. You just need awareness and intention. Most people are living on autopilot, repeating the same behaviors day after day without even thinking. But once you start paying attention, once you start asking, does this action move me closer to the life I want or further away? You take back control. You stop reacting and you start responding. Let's say you want to get healthier. You don't need to sign up for a marathon or go on a drastic diet tomorrow. You can start by drinking more water today, by moving your body for 10 minutes, by putting your phone down and getting more sleep. None of those actions are extreme, but they're powerful because they're sustainable. They build the habit of choosing what's good for you over what's easy in the moment. That's how real transformation happens, not in one big explosion, but through daily acts of self-respect. The same applies to your career, your relationships, your mental health. Want to grow in your job? Start by being 5 minutes early. Want better communication with your partner? Start by listening without interrupting. Want to be less anxious? Start by reducing screen time and practicing 5 minutes of quiet each day. It's not glamorous, it's not flashy, but it works because small decisions are like bricks. Lay one brick each day, and over time, you build something solid, something lasting, something that reflects who you really want to be. What matters most is consistency, not perfection. You're going to mess up sometimes, that's human, but one bad choice doesn't ruin your progress. Giving up does. The key is to not let one mistake turn into a spiral. You missed your workout today. Fine, don't miss it tomorrow. You spent too much money this week. Learn from it, adjust, get back on track. The most successful people in any area of life aren't perfect. They're consistent. They show up again and again, even when it's hard. So if you feel overwhelmed by your goals, if the big picture seems too far away or too complicated, bring it back to the next small decision. That's where your power is. One small choice repeated daily can change your entire identity. And once your identity changes, your life follows. Never underestimate the compound effect of small, intentional action. Because in the end, it's not the giant leaps that shape your destiny. It's the small decisions you make over and over every single day. Discipline over motivation. This is one of the most important truths you need to understand if you want to build the life you truly want. Motivation is a feeling, and like all feelings, it's temporary. It comes and goes. It's unreliable. One day, you feel fired up and ready to take on the world. The next, you feel tired, distracted, and unmotivated. If you rely on motivation to drive your actions, you'll be inconsistent. You'll only show up when it's easy or when you feel inspired. But success, growth, and transformation don't come from showing up when it's easy. They come from showing up when it's hard, when you don't feel like it, and that's where discipline comes in. Discipline is a decision. It's a choice you make over and over again, regardless of how you feel. It's about commitment. It's about honoring your goals even on the days you'd rather quit. Discipline is showing up to the gym even when you're tired. It's writing the next page of your book even when you're not inspired. It's saying no to distractions when everyone else is scrolling, wasting time. Discipline is what builds habits. Habits are what build results, and results are what build confidence. The mistake most people make is waiting. Waiting to feel motivated, waiting for the perfect time, waiting for the stars to align. But the truth is, you don't need to feel like doing something in order to do it. That's a myth. You can act without motivation. You can train yourself to do the hard thing even when every part of you wants to avoid it. That's what discipline teaches you. It teaches you that your emotions don't run the show. You do. There's a reason why some people succeed and others don't, even when they have similar talent, resources, or opportunities. The difference is often discipline. The disciplined person wakes up and follows their routine even when no one is watching. They make the call, send the email, do the work, not because they always feel like it, but because they've decided that their goals matter more than their mood. And that decision creates momentum. That decision creates self-trust. Every time you choose discipline over comfort, you build strength. You tell yourself, I am the kind of person who follows through. That identity is powerful. It shifts the way you show up in the world. It shifts the way people see you, and more importantly, it shifts the way you see yourself. Because when you keep your word to yourself, you start to believe in yourself. You start to realize that you don't need perfect conditions to take action. You just need to decide. Think about the people you admire, the athletes, the entrepreneurs, the creators, the leaders. They don't rely on motivation to show up every day. They rely on systems, routines, and discipline. They do what needs to be done even when they don't feel like it. That's why they win. That's why they grow. That's why they lead. Because they've learned to separate their actions from their emotions. You can do the same. You don't need to overhaul your life overnight. Start small. Choose one area where you've been waiting for motivation. Maybe it's working out, or waking up earlier, or focusing on your studies, or starting that business idea. Whatever it is, stop waiting to feel ready and start acting like the kind of person who gets it done. Set a schedule, stick to it, don't negotiate with yourself when the voice in your head says, I don't feel like it. Respond with, that's fine, we're doing it anyway. This mindset will transform your life. It will free you from the emotional roller coaster of waiting for motivation to strike. It will give you back control. Because once you realize that action leads to motivation, not the other way around, you stop being a prisoner to your feelings. You start building momentum. You start becoming someone who can be counted on by others, but more importantly, by yourself. Discipline isn't about being perfect. It's about being consistent. It's about doing your best, even if your best looks different every day. It's about progress, not perfection. And over time, that progress adds up. It compounds. It creates real, lasting change. So the next time you don't feel like showing up, remember this. Motivation might get you started, but discipline is what keeps you going. Discipline is your bridge from where you are now to where you want to be. And every time you choose it, you're choosing to build the life you want. One action, one decision, one day at a time. The 5-second rule is one of the simplest yet most powerful tools you can use to change your life. It's not just a trick, it's a method for breaking the cycle of hesitation, overthinking, and self-doubt that keeps so many people stuck. The idea is straightforward. When you have an instinct to act on a goal, you must physically move within 5 seconds or your brain will kill it. Count down 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then move. Sounds too simple to be life changing, right? But that's exactly why it works. It interrupts your usual patterns and pushes you to act before your brain talks you out of it. Every day, you're faced with micro moments of decision. You know you should speak up in a meeting, but you hesitate. You want to go to the gym, but you sit on the couch a little longer. You feel like reaching out to someone, but you overthink it. These moments seem small, but they are shaping your life. Each time you hesitate, you're reinforcing the habit of avoidance. Each time you act, you're building confidence, momentum, and courage. The 5-second rule gives you just enough time to override your excuses and lean into action. The science behind it is real. Your brain is designed to protect you, and it sees change, risk, and effort as threat, even when they're good for you. The moment you hesitate, your brain floods with doubt. It creates excuses, rationalizations, and fear. You start to overthink, and before you know it, the window to act has closed. The 5-second rule interrupts this loop. By counting backward 5 to 1, you activate your prefrontal cortex, the part of your brain responsible for decision making. You shut down the autopilot and take control. You don't give fear a chance to build. Think about how many opportunities you've missed simply because you didn't act quickly enough. A great idea that popped into your head during a meeting, but you didn't share it. The chance to introduce yourself to someone who could help your career, but you stayed silent. The workout you skipped because you let your feelings decide your actions. These missed moments compound over time. They keep you small. They reinforce the belief that you're not capable, not bold, not ready. But you are. You just need a tool to help you break the habit of hesitation. This rule works in any area of your life. Want to wake up early? The second your alarm goes off, count 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and get out of bed. Don't think, just move. Want to stop procrastinating? When you catch yourself scrolling or avoiding your work, count down and redirect your focus. Want to have a hard conversation? Feel the urge, count down, and start talking. You don't need to feel confident before you act. Action creates confidence, and the 5-second rule creates action. One of the most important things this rule teaches you is that you are always one decision away from changing your day. And when you change your day, you start changing your life. You don't need to overhaul everything overnight. You just need to take control of one moment, then the next, then the next. When you string those moments together, you build a new mindset, a new rhythm, and eventually a new version of yourself. People often wait for motivation to strike before they do the hard things. But motivation is unreliable. It's based on how you feel, and your feelings can lie. They can trick you into thinking that you're too tired, too late, too inexperienced, or not good enough. The 5-second rule helps you bypass that trap. It puts you back in control. It reminds you that you don't need permission to act. You just need the courage to start. The best part, you can start using it right now. You don't need special training, money, or preparation. You just need the willingness to interrupt your autopilot and take back your power. Count down from 5 and move. That's it. It sounds easy, but it will challenge everything in you. It will push you out of your comfort zone, and it will show you that you're far more capable than you give yourself credit for. Every big change in life starts with a moment, a decision, a shift. The 5-second rule is the tool that helps you grab those moments instead of letting them pass you by. So the next time you feel yourself hesitating, remember this. Count it down 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and go, because the life you want is waiting on the other side of that first move. You build confidence by doing hard things. Most people think confidence is something you either have or you don't. They believe confident people were just born that way. Naturally bold, naturally fearless. But that's not how confidence works. Confidence isn't something you're given. It's something you earn. It's the result of showing up for yourself over and over again, especially when it's hard, especially when you're scared, especially when you're unsure. You build confidence every time you push through discomfort and take action anyway. Confidence is like a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it gets. And like any muscle, it grows through resistance. That means you have to do things that challenge you. You have to stretch beyond what's easy or familiar. If you always choose the comfortable path, you never grow. You stay the same. You keep proving to yourself that you can't handle more, can't do more, can't become more. But the moment you do the thing you didn't think you could do, whether that's speaking up, setting a boundary, running that extra mile, you prove to yourself that you're capable, that you can trust yourself. And that's what real confidence is, self-trust. It's not about pretending to have it all together. It's not about walking into every room with a loud voice or an inflated ego. Real confidence is quiet. It's grounded. It's that deep inner knowing that says, I can handle this. And the only way to develop that kind of knowing is by proving it to yourself in real life, by doing hard things, not once, but over and over again. Think about how kids build confidence. They try, they fall, they get up, they try again. They learn through doing, not waiting. They're not afraid to mess up because messing up is how they grow. Somewhere along the way, adults forget this. We get so scared of failing, of looking foolish, of not being perfect that we stop trying altogether. But trying is the foundation of confidence. You can't grow without it. When you avoid hard things, you don't protect your confidence. You weaken it. Every time you back down from a challenge or stay silent when you want to speak, you reinforce the belief that you're not capable. You give fear more power. But when you lean in and take action anyway, even if it's messy or awkward, you take your power back. You stop waiting to feel ready. You become the kind of person who acts in spite of fear, not in the absence of it. Confidence doesn't come from thinking about what you want to do. It comes from doing it. Action is where all the magic happens. You can read all the books, watch all the videos, listen to all the advice, but if you're not taking action, you're not building confidence. You're just consuming information. Confidence lives in experience, in execution, in motion, and the beautiful part, you don't have to start big, start small. Say no when you usually say yes. Make the call you've been putting off. Go to that class you've been avoiding. Every single one of these moments adds up. The more hard things you do, the more you realize that discomfort won't break you. Failure won't define you. Rejection won't ruin you, and fear doesn't get the final say. You'll start seeing challenges differently, not as threats, but as opportunities to grow stronger. That shift is powerful. It changes the way you move through the world. It makes you more resilient, more courageous, more you. You don't wait for confidence to appear before you do hard things. You do hard things to build confidence. That's how it works. That's how it's always worked. Confidence is forged in the fire of effort, discomfort, and persistence. And once you understand that, you stop holding back. You stop waiting. You stop thinking you're not ready. You realize that every hard thing is actually a gift, a doorway to the next level of who you are meant to be. So the next time you face something that scares you, something that feels hard or unfamiliar, don't shrink. Step forward, say yes. Take the leap, not because you're fearless, but because you're ready to grow. Because you trust yourself to handle whatever comes next. Because you've learned the truth. Confidence doesn't come first, action does. And the more you act, the more you become exactly the kind of person who creates the life they want. You are never going to feel ready. That's the truth that most people don't want to hear. We wait. We stall. We convince ourselves that one day we'll feel ready to chase that dream, have that conversation, take that risk. But that feeling, it rarely shows up. And when it does, it doesn't last. If you keep waiting until the fear goes away, until the timing feels perfect, until you feel fully prepared, you'll be waiting your whole life. Readiness isn't a feeling, it's a decision, and if you're serious about building the life you want, you have to stop waiting and start acting. This is where so many people get stuck. They think fear is a stop sign. They feel uncertain or nervous and assume it means they should hold back. But fear is not danger, it's a signal. It means you're about to do something meaningful, something that stretches you. The most powerful moments in your life will always come with some fear attached. That's normal, that's human, but what separates those who grow from those who stay stuck is simple: action in the face of fear. Waiting to feel ready is really just a form of self-doubt in disguise. We tell ourselves we need more time, more information, more experience, but deep down it's fear. Fear of failing, fear of looking foolish, fear of what others will think. But let's be honest, what's more terrifying? Taking the risk and growing, or playing it safe and waking up 5 years from now in the same place, with the same regrets? The longer you wait, the louder your doubts get. The more you act, the more they fade. The truth is, nobody feels ready when it really matters. The people you admire, the leaders, the creators, the game changers, they didn't wait until they felt ready. They jumped in scared. They spoke up when their voice was shaking. They launched the thing before they had it all figured out. And that's exactly why they succeeded. They didn't let fear dictate their future. They understood that clarity comes from action, not from thinking. You learn by doing, you grow by going. Think about all the times you said, "I'll start tomorrow," or "I'll do it when I'm more confident." Where did that get you? Probably nowhere, because the longer you wait, the harder it gets. Your mind builds it up into something bigger, scarier, more overwhelming. But when you act, when you do the thing, even if it's messy or awkward, you take away its power. You prove to yourself that you can handle it. You build momentum, and momentum builds everything. You don't need to have the whole path laid out. You just need to take the first step. Action is what brings the next step into focus. It's what helps you figure it out. Most of the time, the answers you're looking for will only come once you've started. Life rewards movement, not hesitation. You were not meant to sit on the sidelines waiting for permission. You were meant to get in the game, to learn, to fall, to get back up, and to become stronger every single time. You are far more capable than you give yourself credit for, but you'll never discover that if you keep waiting to feel ready. You discover it by showing up, by doing the thing anyway, by choosing courage over comfort. Every breakthrough you've ever had in your life probably started with one thing: a decision to act before you felt fully ready. That's where growth happens. That's where transformation lives, on the other side of that first move.